So this is one of my all-time favourite desserts. It's really, really simple, and as in a lot of my videos, I want to try and show you how you can make something really easy and turn it into whatever kind of recipe that you would like by just adapting a few small things. So this is cheesecake. What we need for a cheesecake base is biscuits and butter. Simple as that. So I've got some very basic digestive biscuits here, 150 grams of them, and then half as much butter, so 75 grams of butter. Now I want the butter to be melted, so I'm going to pop that in the microwave. You can obviously do this in a pan as well on a gentle heat, and I'm just going to pop that on and keep a little eye on it. In the meantime, we want to break up these biscuits. Now you can do that in a food processor if you have one, but I'm trying to show you the most basic way, and that is to just smash them with a rolling pin. So they're in a sandwich bag to try and keep it tidy, and we're just going to give them a bit of a bashing. Be careful not to hit it too hard because they might come out and cause a mess everywhere, and then you just get angry husbands. Going to check on this. What we don't want is to let it go too far. Hot liquid in microwaves can be quite dangerous. They cause hot spots and can kind of explode slightly on themselves. So I don't want to scare anyone, but just do be careful heating liquids, oils in the microwave. Back to the biscuits. Strong, you can probably just do this with your hands, scrunch them up. Okay, and don't worry about them all being too fine. It doesn't matter if there's a few lumps in there, but if you find any really big pieces, just give them a smashing too. And then we're going to mix this with the melted butter. So just to be sure that my bowl's big enough, I'm going to transfer that into the bowl. If you don't have a sandwich bag even, you can just smash them straight into a bowl onto the end of the rolling pin. So plenty of options there. I'm sure the children will enjoy helping with that one as well. And then the butter goes in on top. And just gets well combined. Of course, you can use whatever kind of biscuits you want. So like I say, these are just basic digestives, but ginger nuts make a really good base, and you could go for hobnobs and even chocolate biscuits if you wanted to. So whatever you've got is absolutely fine. I've got a cake tin here, which I've greased slightly, and we're just going to pour these biscuity mixture in. And then press it down to form our biscuity base. This is going to go and sit in the fridge now for, I don't know, half an hour at least would be good, just to make that set, and in the meantime we can make our topping. So the top half of the cheesecake is, well, there's a bit of a clue in the title, cheese. So full fat works better. So a nice 1 tub of full fat cream cheese and some icing sugar. So I've got a tub here, 200 grams, and 50 grams of icing sugar here. Once you've made it a few times, you can adapt that to your own tastes. If it's a little bit too sweet, you can obviously reduce the sweetness in there. And we're going to mix this cream cheese with the icing sugar. Again, the reason I'm doing this recipe is because when you Google cheesecake, so many different recipes come up. Some of them ask you to have mascarpone cheese or a mixture of cheeses, and obviously all of those things work lovely. But sometimes you just want to make something without worrying about going out and buying fancy ingredients. A lot of people even would have cream cheese and icing sugar ready. And then the only other thing that's missing is the cream. So I'm just going to get these two things combined a bit better. Get my mussels in there, give it a good stir. So we've beat up the cheese and the icing sugar together. You could use caster sugar if you don't have icing sugar, it just might make it a little bit more grainy, that's all. And then we're going to add double cream. So this is half a pot of the small double cream, 150 mils of double cream, and I would normally put this into my mixer and let that do it for me, but because I know not everyone's got a mixer, I'm going to show you that you can just do it by hand using a balloon whisk, but it does take a little bit more effort. If the camera gets turned off, it's because I got so tired, so bear with me. Hopefully you can see this has started to get a little bit thicker. Be careful now because we don't want it into one big thick lump. We do want it to still be pliable and movable and mixable. And just also to say, I've done it in this small jug because it's easier to whisk in a narrow jug rather than an open, shallow bowl. It will go much quicker in this kind of thing. So. There we have it, look, we've started to, it's not pourable anymore, so that's ready to go. And what we're going to do really is combine the cream with the sugar and cheese. And this is the part now where you can mess around with the ingredients and change it. So this is a very basic one, you could just put some vanilla in here and keep it very simple. What I've decided to do today is put some raspberries in, and I'm going to mix the raspberries through as well. These are frozen raspberries that I've just defrosted, allowed to defrost a little bit, and they're going to go in, but you could do this with fresh raspberries, any other fruit. Lemon zest is lovely, grated chocolate's really nice in here as well, or melted chocolate just mixed through. So the things that you can do with this are really endless, but the basics are always going to be just the same. So let's get all this mixed together and then form our cheesecake, and then wait patiently for dinner time to have it. Okay. Now I've spent a little bit of time, probably 5 minutes there, flexing my tiny muscles to get this cream to thicken. What we don't want to do now is to mix this too vigorously, because then we'll knock all the air out of it. So we're just going to do this gently. I'm going to fold it through. Just to combine it all together. And because I'm adding in the raspberries, I'm going to do that now as well. I've got 150 grams of raspberries here. I just guessed really, I just poured a big dollop in and thought that would be good. So again, you can change this to suit yourself. I like the way it swirls, you might think it looks a mess. So again, you adapt these recipes to suit yourself. You could just put the berries on top if you wanted to. Okay. Just get the biscuit base back out of the fridge. It hasn't been in there very long, but the whole thing's going to go back in there anyway, so that's okay, doesn't matter. And again, another thing that you could do if you wanted to is put something different along here before you put the cheese in. So for example, you could do a layer of melted chocolate on there before you put the cheesecake mixture in, just give it time to set. Or I quite like peanut butter, so I've been known to put a layer of peanut butter in there. Experiment. That's the best thing about these recipes, is that you can make them your own. Just press it down gently. Not sure I'm winning any Michelin prizes for my presentation here, but it is going to taste delicious, and like I say, you can make yours look as pretty and perfect as you wish.